Welcome back. Bronx-based nonprofit Oyate Group partnered with online platform Xtraspots to improve EV charging access, parking space growth, and passive income opportunities for car owners in urban communities like the Bronx. Founder and CEO of Oyate Group, Tomas Ramos, and and COO of Xtraspots, Charles Sepulveda, join me to discuss. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Now, I think it's always amazing when organizations can come together to find a common goal and to work towards something. So, can you just talk about how the collaboration between both of your organizations began?
Yeah, the collaboration started because of our community capital program. Our community capital program is an incubator program where we provide capital, mentorship, an accelerator, a 10-week accelerator program for aspiring entrepreneurs from our community, the Bronx and Upper Manhattan.
Now, Tomas, we had you on the show before, and we got the pleasure of learning more about your organization. But Charles, we would really like to learn more about Xtraspots and its overall mission. So, can you just let our viewers know a little bit more about your organization?
Awesome. Yeah, so Xtraspots, we're an online platform that allows anyone, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, to list your unused parking spot and maximize income earning opportunities on it.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. Now, what sparked the partnership to focus on EV charging stations as, one of the main goals? Because I think it's very interesting. It's very like moving towards the future and the way people, have different types of cars. So, what sparked the partnership to focus on EV charging stations?
Yeah. So when you look at the government mandates right now, by 2035, all new cars, whether they're new for purchase or for lease, they need to be zero emissions. So when you think about living in the Bronx or any city, where are you going to park your car, right? Like if you're in an apartment, you have EV charging space, that may be possible. But if you're just like renting or something, it may be very difficult to find a parking space.
And is this specifically for electric vehicles, or is it kind of just for anybody who has possibly just an open parking space?
Yeah. So it's for anyone that has an open parking space. So EV charging is something that we are going to incorporate later, but as long as you have an open parking space, you're able to capitalize on the platform.
Now, I want to talk a little bit more about electric vehicles because just doing the show and upon my own research, I've learned that there's actually a lot of challenges when it comes to owning these type of cars. So, can you just briefly share what you noticed regarding EVs and charging stations, especially in the Bronx?
Yeah, so when you look at inside the Bronx, there's only 20 EV charging stations right now, and most of them, they are in actual public parking lots. So when you look at if you purchase an EV car, where are you going to park that, right? Where are you going to charge it? So what our platform allows is for individuals to rent out their driveway, but also phase two is going to be allowing those driveways to have EV charging built into it, so then people could charge their cars as well as park in it.
Now, Tomas, can you detail how this is part of Oyate's larger mission towards nurturing economic prosperity and just kind of, just being more involved in what's happening within the Bronx?
Yeah, small businesses are the foundation of our community. It's how you build economic development and opportunities for people from the community to have their own businesses. Xtraspots is an interesting company because they actually reinvest by putting money into the hands of the people from the community. So if you have a driveway and you want to make passive income, you can sign up through this app and earn a passive income. So it's in a much broader picture of we are supporting and empowering Xtraspots, but overall we're empowering our local community with opportunities to bring in passive income as well.
Now, I think that's just so interesting, and I didn't even know that was something that was possible. Can you just talk about maybe the importance of just educating people in communities like the Bronx to understand and know what they have at their fingertips can be used to kind of help them in the future?
It's through our program, we try to educate our community as much as possible and letting them know that the businesses that we're investing in is for the greater good of our future, and EV is something that really interested us as we're seeing how things are changing and evolving. So letting families know that you can earn a passive income, and also if you don't have a driveway, you actually have the opportunity to park it at maybe your neighbors or somewhere around your neighborhood, and really get benefit from this.
Now, how does the focus on EV charging stations assist with urban development?
Yeah, so that's a great question. When you look at urban development, you see a large trend towards sustainability, right? So there's a lot of sustainability going out there where you want everything green and all that stuff. So when we look at what we're looking to do, it's going to do a lot of growth, right? So we're looking at like some health benefits. So instead of you being in a car circling looking for parking, you're able to pre-book your parking spot and park directly in that driveway. So that right there is lowering emission standards. And also the entire platform of just going green and having that EV charging station later down the road is really going to benefit the Bronx as well as any city as we expand.
Now, can you also just talk about the importance of urban development and having the Bronx be, just one of those boroughs that are constantly, although it may take a little bit more time and more resources, it is evolving and becoming better. So can you just talk about that in regards to urban development and, just why that's important?
Yeah. Well, when we look at the Bronx, there's so much culture and entrepreneurship and like eagerness here to want to make it happen. I spent a long time in the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx. My family has restaurants and businesses in the Bronx. So I really know the community of people here that are looking to expand and do something better with themselves. So when we look at our platform, right, it's going to help out small business owners with earning extra income. It's going to help anyone who's a homeowner, a property owner, rent out their driveway, rent out their spot to not only make that passive income to reinvest into the community, but then just make the overall environment a lot cleaner, because you're going to have less traffic, you're going to have less pollution, you're going to have a place for people to park their electric cars when we get that route.
Now, the Bronx is usually last, or at least it feels like the Bronx is usually last when it comes to new development. Can you discuss the emphasis of starting this particular program in the Bronx?
Yeah. Well, it's the last, but with this, it's going to be the first. So, we're very happy to bring this in, into the community, and we're just going to take it from here and just expand out. Plus, it really goes with our mission statement of what Xtraspots is doing is that we're making new parking spots. We're not capitalizing on what's already out there. So you have driveways, you have businesses that have lots. These are going to be new places where people could park in. So very excited to bring this to the Bronx and to the community.
Now, I would like to hear from both of you, and Tomas, we can start with you. What are some ways you plan to expand and grow and pretty much just evolve this overall effort?
So for the program at large, we take percent equity in the companies that are a part of this program. And the reason why is we want to make sure that we provide all the tools necessary so Xtraspots and any other companies that are part of this program are successful, and we reinvest those resources right into the program and to the community at large. So that's how we plan to continue, funding this program and building it and helping future entrepreneurs, be successful as well.
And can you tell us, what ways you'd like to see, this effort expand and just grow?
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot has to do with the community, right? Here being with the Oyate group, there's a huge community outreach, right? We really want to make sure that the Xtraspots brand gets to the masses, that individuals out there who are looking for ways to earn any type of passive income or extra money could jump on our platform. And just in the past week, we've already had a success story where someone here local in the Bronx by the 4 train, they rented out their parking spot and they made an extra $50 in just under a week. So when you capitalize that over 2, 3, 4 weeks, that's extra money that someone's earning in the community, which they could reinvest into what's going on out there.
Now, I really want to talk a little bit more about the history between both of the organizations and how you guys met. I understand that you were also in the program that Oyate Group has, put out. Can you just talk a little bit about your experience in that program and, what kind of gave you the idea for Xtraspots?
Yeah. Well, so the idea spanned from my co-founder in San Francisco, where he was on a date, right? He was going to go on a date and he couldn't find a parking space. So he illegally parked his car in front of someone's driveway. So obviously when he got out of the date, the car was towed. It was a $300 price to get your car out, and his date didn't end up going anywhere. So, the idea sparked in his head like, wait, I could have just paid that empty driveway owner money, gone in, did what I had to do, and go from there. So that's really where the idea came from. But to take an idea and put it to action is completely different. We built the $1 million app with a very limited budget, but we did it with the support of people like Tomas and the Oyate group, where they created the platform for us to be successful, have an incubator, get our name out there with the community to really take this forward.
And Tomas, just to, talk about it, I feel like it wasn't that long ago we were just here talking about, the program just in general. How does it seem now that we're, a couple months, a year later, and to see that, some of these organizations are really kind of saying what they are doing, what they said that they would do? How does it feel to kind of see that?
Yeah, and it's very surreal for us. It was just a pilot program. We wanted to, show the outcome, show that this works. So we can continue expanding it, and being able to have Xtraspots part of this pilot program and already launched and already seeing revenue. It's fascinating, really. So just hopefully next year when we come back, Xtraspots will be in a whole different place with their business, and we continue to see the growth and really hope to inspire other local entrepreneurs to apply for community capital, to get involved, and for us to be their support system.
Now, Charles, I really want to talk about just, first of all, congratulations to kind of like, start from somewhere small and unfortunately a bad day, and to kind of like turn that into something positive. Can you just talk about maybe some of the challenges with, maybe creating your own app or, just having a business like this in general?
Well, with like the challenges are, they're out there, right? When you look at the technology industry, it's between 5 to 6% of underrepresented folks in there, right? So that right there is a challenge already. When you're talking to investors, when you're trying to get people to believe in your project, you look different, right? You're not the typical individual who's trying to make something happen. So that's something that we had to overcome, but also building something from scratch, right? Turning an idea, which is on paper, over to an actual business is its own challenge. But when you put technology into it, it opens up an entire new world of privacy laws, of, we got to make sure people's security is super safe, which it is, making sure that, we're able to get the information out there. So it's a lot that went into it. But when you look at the actual end product, right, like last week we had an ad on Times Square, and, I'm a pretty tough guy. I started a tear, right, because it's just like, wow, I can't believe, we took this from nothing to, having the ad on Times Square, and we're going to be featured in Link NYC. And, a lot of that has to do with the community and with individuals like Tomas supporting us throughout the journey.
That's amazing, and congratulations for that.
you.
Now, Tomas, can you just let everybody know quickly how can they apply for the Community Capital Program for the next round?
Yeah, so I always encourage people to follow us on social media. We're at Oyate Group. We're on Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter. Also, our website as well. Keep the eye open when we have the next open applications. Right now, we are about to launch our 10-week accelerator program with the first cohort. We're looking to launch community capital for the fall. So that's why I always encourage people to follow us. And we're always updating our new programs, and just keep an eye out for the next cohort opportunity, which will be in the fall.
All right. Well, I want to thank you both so much for joining us. And it's really lovely and just amazing to see how the program continues to grow and how we see so many people from the program come on the show and talk about their experience. So thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
To learn more about how this app works, please go to their website at www.xtraspots.com. I've come to the end of our show today. I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us and you, the viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the recable cast at 5 and 10 p.m. on Optimum Channel 67 and Verizon Fios Channel 33, or watch anytime on the web at BronxNet.org. You can catch a brand new episode of Open with Darren Jaime on Wednesday and with Rena Valentine on Friday. I'm Kibin Alleyne, wishing you and yours safety and wellness now and always. See you next time.